So let's go through the list of places that I went after Natalie died to get help. Well, I guess we'll start with where I went when I found out she died, or when I found out she disappeared. I went to Miss Peach's house to try to get help getting a lawyer and getting an autism advocate. When Natalie disappeared and I was trying to explain stuff to Miss Peaches, she was pretty overwhelmed. I was pretty overwhelmed. She kept snapping at me and talking over me. She didn't understand, and since then she's began to understand. Really, that was my one chance after Natalie was killed. I didn't even know she was dead. I didn't even know where she was disappeared from. But that was when I needed help the most. Now, she wasn't able to, and I have to understand that. It wasn't her decision, it was her family's decision, her mom's decision. But her brother Gibo, it was his turn to talk. It's always everyone else's turn to talk. Instead of finding out the situation, and so I didn't get to stay there. So then I went to Boulder and I got assaulted a shit ton, and the police wouldn't take my report, and they kept harassing me everywhere I went. I was just trying to get that information for Detective Jai Rogers and Detective Mark Peterson. But the police in Boulder and the public were who were preventing me from doing that. Separating me from the people that were trying to help. People assumed my guilt, and then they punished me, and then you guys want me to be fine about the punishment. So then I went to Todd Ryan Case's house in Niwot, and well, I should say that what happened at Miss Peach's, that shut me down. Made it so that it was difficult to function. And then the cops and the public harassing me and threatening me and assaulting me, that shut me down, made it difficult to function. Sensory processing issues. That's the problem, is that it's non-stop. Every one of these issues made things worse, and I needed people to understand rather than snapping at me. At Todd Ryan Case's house, he was busy snapping at his girlfriend and being abusive, and that shut me down. And not having the money to do the things that I was being asked to do, and people getting mad at me because I wasn't doing what they wanted me to do, that shut me down. People treating me like shit over all the money that I got from GoFundMe. I didn't get a single dollar from that. I needed help, but these were people's excuses for not helping. These were people's excuses for treating me like shit. So then when I left Todd's, I went to jail, and they made fun of me and assaulted the shit out of me, and that shut me down. And I went back to Todd's. He was still being abusive to his girlfriend, and that shut me down. And I went to Clearview, and they kept making fun of me. Kept refusing to get a police officer there. That's the thing about an M1 hold. I'm suicidal because I can't get the help that I need to defend myself against these people. Either help me or fucking kill me. These people were threatening to kill me. Hey, Roger.
Yeah, Roger again. Listen, I'm a crazy optimist, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get hired at one of two places in the next 4 or 5 days. Um, can you visualize you working just 2 hours a day at this place or that place?
Sir, I can't visualize myself doing anything. I'm in shutdown mode. I'm trying to get a safe place so that I can recover from all the shit that I've gone through. Without that, I can't function.
I see. Uh huh. Yeah, I know it's hard to be very hard for me to function living in a automobile. That's not very desirable. Okay, okay. Well, I'm thinking. Okay,
Yes,
so we'll
sir.
stay in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yep.
That's Roger. I let him use my computer. We spent about 2.5 hours filling out a job application. He doesn't live in his car. He was referring to my situation. He has a house in Colorado Springs. Um, so I went to the La Quinta, and I was alone there. I needed help. I needed a friend. But I was overwhelmed, and the people who said that they'd show up didn't. And, well, when I was at Candace's, I suppose, before the La Quinta, I didn't have access to the internet during the day when I needed it. I was trying to explain to Candace what was going on and trying not to talk about that in front of her kids. Not being able to do those things shut me down. Having people send her pictures of her old living room on those Facebook groups. That freaked me out and it freaked her out and it shut me down. And her letting me know about the officers harassing her at work and taking her kids to school, that shut me down. At the La Quinta, everything that was going on there, it shut me down. At Christopher Tapp's, him being drunk and an asshole and shoving me and calling me back, and then he'd yell at me some more, and then he'd call me back to him, and then he'd yell at me some more, and that shut me down. And at Sally Trion's in Pueblo, them screaming non-stop all the time, dragging that little girl through the house and kicking her in the face, that shut me down. And being stranded in Boulder, or in Denver, not able to see any of my loved ones then, it shut me down. And Lana snapping at me every day shut me down. My dad yelling over me, it shut me down. Shannon Alvarado yelling at her boyfriend, that shut me down. Rihanna's husband being a dick, that shut me down. I'm not allowed to shut down, or I'm a bad person. So I speak out about the things that shut me down. I didn't used to be like this, but I've been through so much abuse and so many people abusing me because they don't want to understand. They want me to be normal. My grandma's funeral, the shit that Ted and Alicia were pulling, it shut me down. The police going out of their way not to take a report from me, that shut me down. Justine Marks not keeping her word, that shut me down. Josh Martindale yelling at me over it. I was overwhelmed. I needed them to keep their word and they didn't. Now whether it's because they're jerks or because their family wouldn't let them, or because they're alcoholics, or because they're meth heads, it doesn't matter. It shuts me down. And I'm not allowed to shut down. People threatening my life and threatening my friends' lives, that shut me down. My lawyers refusing to do their jobs, that shut me down. Being separated from the evidence when I'm trying to show someone. The whole time I'm trying to show the cops what's going on. They won't look. People keep telling me to get a lawyer. I've been trying to get an advocate since before Natalie was killed to try to protect me from these people and the things that they were doing, but nobody would look and it shut me down. Most of these people that wanted to help me, it's not that they couldn't, it's not that they didn't want to help me, it's that they wouldn't take a look at the evidence, or they couldn't take a look at the evidence, or they couldn't show up. So many people said that they would go in with me if they were there, but they're not. Like Dan Faber, he's like, you know, if I was in Colorado, I'd go in with you. But he wasn't in Colorado. And him taking people's sides without listening to mine, that shut me down. Trying to talk to my friends, but being on constant Facebook ban, that shut me down. Having people hate me because I couldn't get in contact with them, that shut me down. Not being able to see my friends and family and my loved ones, that shut me down. My mom being a bitch at my sister's house, that shut me down. My mom was pissed off I went to my grandma's funeral.